Even a down day, India's outperformance shows in the stock markets. And one of the reasons is because it's a great domestic economy. Well, speaking of domestic economy, consumption, an important indicator, and August retail sales become very important since it is the start of the festive month with Ganesh Chaturthi starting the festive season. India's retail sales in August, that is last month, are indeed a good 17% higher than in August of 21, the previous year. And indeed, if you look only at Western India, retail sales are a good 24% higher than what they were a year ago. However, one can detect two worries from the data put out by the Retailers Association. One, sales of luxury items like, say, sports goods or jewelry and even footwear, for instance, have done much better than, say, groceries. And secondly, while August 22 sales are 17% higher compared to August 21, the August 22 sales are only 15% above their levels in 2019. That means the 15% growth has come over 3 years, indicating that the revenge shopping is not enough to make up for 2 lost years. But do I understand the numbers right? To get more nuances, we have with us the author of the report itself, Kumar Rajagopalan, the CEO at Retailers Association of India, the association which has put together these numbers, and Nilesh Gupta, director at Vijay Sales. Gentlemen, good morning and thank you very much for joining me. Kumar, let me start with you. Have I understood the numbers right? It's a great growth over last year, but sales are not making up for the lost 2 years.
Yeah, Lata. So we're normally comparing our data vis-a-vis 2019 because that's when the sales were normal. So the pre-pandemic is the better measure to look at rather than last year's number because there were always ups and downs in the last year. So that's the first part. So in terms of growth, we have grown 15% over last year, over the last pandemic time, which is 2019. That's much lesser than what was the normal growth. We were always growing about 20% above since April. So yeah, 15% is moderate growth. This is, of course, not peak of occasions and stuff like that. So we should be waiting for the numbers for September to come for us to have a conclusive understanding there. The other part
one minute, Kumar, I just wanted to understand this. If a shopkeeper had done 100 rupees of sales in 2019, he is doing 115 rupees sales in 2022. Is that correct?
Yes, across all categories.
Across all categories. So yeah, that was my bit of a worry that, there is not that 100 in a normal time. It would have been 115 or 110 in 2020. And then would have gone on to probably 120 in the next year, that is 2021. And by 2023, we would have been at 130 at least, compared to 2019. But we are not, looks like, making up for lost time. I just wanted to know whether I understood it right. Nilesh Gupta, would that be right? We are doing better compared to last year, but the 3 lost years are not getting made up. Is that correct?
So in consumer durable, I think there's a slight variation.
Oh, sure.
What we have seen is in the last 2 years, there's been a price rise of nearly 15%. And so we have seen the numbers may not have grown as much as we expected, but overall, from turnover perspective, definitely we are seeing growth of 20-25% upwards. And this I'm talking, basically I'm talking with relation to Vijay Sales, and we are mainly in the metro market or A towns, A cities.
Of course.
So I think that is where we feel the growth is happening. Now, looking at the August month, so Ganesh Chaturthi never is a very big sale month anymore for the last 4-5 years. But what we saw on August 15th was a phenomenal growth over even 2019 and even over last year. So looking at that, we are very bullish, at least in consumer durable, that we should be seeing a very good Diwali. September is not going to be a very key month to be observed for consumer durable because the Pitru Paksh starts is Pitru Paksh, and people still have a tendency of not to buy during these months, although it is not as strong as what it used to be earlier.
Okay, fair point. But Nilesh, if you can give us a little more color in terms of, you said that the turnover looks big also because prices have risen. If you only looked at volumes also, you are feeling as bullish. that volumes, number of, say, televisions, laptops, other electronic goods, washing machines, are they also in number-wise selling much better than 3 years ago?
So what is happening is, if you see even the trend prior to 2019 in consumer durable, our growth was always in single digits in terms of numbers. For the simple reason is now as the years are progressing, the base is increasing.
Sure.
So we have never had a double-digit number growth in the last 4-5 years. It's always been single-digit number growth, and I think that is continuing. But what is most important in consumer durable now, what we see is post-pandemic, is that people are looking out for higher capacities and better models. They are, especially in the metros, we are seeing a phenomena where people are not averse to buying premium and super premium products, which was not that big a case earlier. Earlier, prior to pandemic, the segment who used to buy premium products was very niche. Now that niche has come down, and that's, I think, is music for our industry. And even brands, if you see, they are also now started pushing more. They are less keen on the entry-level opening price points and more keen on mid and premium segments.
Okay. But would you not worry, Nilesh, that not enough entry-level buyers and more premium buyers would also mean that the rich have money, but not the emerging class?
Yeah, in our industry, there's one more variance which is there, is then that the big change is the EMI.
Okay.
So our 80% of the sales happens on EMI. And in EMI also, you have all the brands who are pushing in for zero down payment and a long tenor.
Okay.
Like a mobile company just announced paper finance of zero down payment, zero processing, and a 24 months tenor. Okay. Now, what this does is, the people who are looking out for an opening price point have also moved on to an expensive product because they say, well, we are not paying anything and in 24 months I can afford it. And that's what's changing the face of our industry.
Okay, fair point. Kumar, now I want your thoughts. You have the entire segment. Nilesh talks only largely about consumer electronics, but you're looking at the entire universe. Can the worry be that luxury products or products which cater to the upper middle class is doing better than those at the bottom of the pyramid?
So till the month of July, we had seen that buying was happening across all price points. And that was very encouraging. I wouldn't call it revenge buying, I'd call it a cheer buying. But the fact is that people were buying for various occasions and buying was happening across. But there was always this worry of inflation. In the month of August, we've seen that the sales for the lower price point, the entry price point across categories, be it garments, footwear, like what Nilesh said about electronics, I think everywhere there has been a pause. I'd like to think it's a pause because if the indications from what's happening in Kolkata and the eastern region, because that's where the real start of the season is witnessed. We're already seeing that the east of the country has grown some 20%. There is not as much murmur about the entry price point from that region as it is in the rest of the country. So I think that customers have taken a pause. Definitely inflation is impacting the people who can't afford it and they are thinking whether they should buy. And various schemes like financing, etc. would help. But that would help when they want to buy for occasions. So I think we'll have to wait and watch.
Yeah, Kumar, 1 minute. What you're saying is that up until June or July, you saw all price points finding demand. But in August, the lower price points are not seeing as much as they saw in the previous months.
Correct.
That's a fair point. Okay. And region-wise, you said East. But actually, from the data you gave me, East has done only 16%, but West is a good 24% year-on-year higher. What would does it indicate that only Western India is doing well, or all others are like running at half the pace that West is running?
Like Lata, I said, for us, the comparison is really again 2019.
Okay.
Because that's where we really get the indication.
Over there, East is doing well.
That, yeah. So because the COVID times, there were some regions which did well some months, did not do well some months, depending upon where the wave was, what the circumstances were, which was allowed to be open, what stores were not allowed to be open. So all those kinds of things were there. So if you look at it, East, now 19% over 2019, which is the start point that we spoke about, right? So that's already showing some indication. Now, as we speak, there are indications that East is doing well, even as I speak to various of our members. So we'll have to wait and watch.
And that's more modestly positive from what you're saying, optimistic.
Yes.
Kumar,
correct.
would you all have any data in terms of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4? Is the hinterland doing as well as the metros?
Not immediately. Many of our members do operate mostly in the metros. So at least the tier 1, tier 2, the tier 3, tier 4 data is not as significant yet for us in terms of the numbers. So I can't really comment on it currently.
Okay, okay. Well,
Anecdotally, though,
please.
When it comes to people who are doing food, garments, especially the value segment, and also some in the slightly higher end segment, they've all been saying that the tier 3, tier 4 markets are doing exceptionally well for them. So this is what we're hearing from various people. Okay. We'll have to wait and watch.
And your data covers even products bought over e-commerce.
That is for those who are on omni-channel. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So they would be reporting both their brick and mortar and their.
Because they talk about full sales.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Nilesh, exactly that question to you. I don't know how much you are selling in non-metro, but is there something like, heart of the city, much better sales, and as you go towards the tail, maybe, to Dombivli or Karjat, I don't know if you have shops over there, the extent of sales is less?
No, so if you are asking specific regions within the Mumbai city or within the cities, I'll tell you something surprising. The suburbs are showing a much, much higher growth than the heart of the city.
Okay.
Because I think the action is happening there because once the prices, real estate prices went up in the town, so all the people have moved into suburbs. Okay. So we are seeing a very good traction in the suburbs than in the city.
And you are outside Mumbai also. So is there anything?
We are outside Mumbai.
And is the sales there as good?
So across wherever we have seen quite a good sale. And see, there's also a reason for this because during COVID, people have realized one thing. Okay, there are only two important things in their lives. One is their family, okay, and the second is consumer durables, okay, and their mobile and laptops.
All right. So you are seeing a great deal of sales over there. Very good. Thank you very much. It's a cheerful start to the festive season from the data that Kumar Rajagopalan has put out and Nilesh is endorsing. It looks like consumption is very good. There may be pockets of worry, but there is optimism all round. With that, we wrap up on Bazaar. Chartbusters up next.